Hi guys and welcome to Beyond the 90, episode 8. I've got Neil with me as usual. You right, Neil?
Good, James. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I've got Ant with me as well. You right, Ant?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate.
Everyone okay after the 1-1 draw?
All right. Hopefully we'll come to this Brighton game and put it past them.
Yeah, totally agree. So let's get started. Transfer rumours. Neil, what have you heard this week?
So I've got two this week. It's been quite quiet on the transfer rumour front. So we have got, I'm going to butcher his name, Thanawat Sionchitawon, who is a person from AS Nancy in France. So there's not much information on him, not going to lie. It looks like we're set to sign him. And so obviously he's a Thai person. I think French Taiwanese person. Sorry, Thai person. Oh my God, I'm getting all the countries wrong today. And yeah, so I've looked through the rumours. It looks like we're on track to get him. It looks like they're trying to grow their audience. It's more of a business transaction than it is an actual a player that we would desperately need, because in the attacking midfield position, we've got quite a few. So what are your guys' thoughts? He's 1.70 m, which is about average for our squad, quite small, quite nimble, plays in the attacking midfield position. He's not played many times, to be honest, for his team, and we're probably going to get him on a free. So do you think this is more a position that we need, or is it more of a opportunity to grow the Thai prospect and get an official Thai person in to the squad?
I think it's neither. I personally think it's from what I gather, he's quite young, isn't he?
Yes, he's 20 years old.
Yeah, so it might be another development opportunity one. Let's not forget we got Mahrez from League Two, didn't we? In the French, comes from the same league as that. It might be one for the future, one we can develop and turn into something good. Obviously, the scouts have seen something good in him. But again, yeah, he's from Thailand, so it'll be great for the business. Help to get the brand out there worldwide. And we've seen that other players throughout the Premier League have done the same. For the Asia network, so I think it'll be good for us in both aspects. But let's hope we get him. I hope he's good. I think I've seen a few videos of him. He looks quite skillful. Probably not Premier League ready yet, but let's get him in and get him developed.
Yeah, let's hope so. It seems like an interesting tactic to go about that way. Bearing in mind, when we got Mahrez, we were in the Championship. We were in nowhere near the same position that we are now. So taking that risk again, we've seen Diabate come and go for a similar price, for a similar kind of tactic. Yeah. That's not worked out. But I guess with the price and the fact that he's young and there's plenty of opportunity with him, it's worth a go. What do you think, Ant?
I think I agree with both of what you guys are saying, but I don't think he'll be picked up just purely because he's from Thailand, but I think that might have something to do with it about growing the brand there. But I've seen minimal clips of him online, but he does look quite a skillful, tricky player. So to me, if we do bring him in, or have, as reports are saying, then I think it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to go send him out on loan to the Championship, because he's not going to be ready to start week in, week out in the Premier League.
Yeah, totally agree. He's not going to start every game, but being around the squad, hopefully we can. Leicester have got a record of finding good gems from the Championship from other leagues, but also we've got a record of signing not so great players at the same time. So we'll have to see. To be fair, since 2018, our transfer policy has been pretty good for the players that we've got in. So here's hoping that we get some more decent players in. The second player, speaking of Championship, is Said Benrahma, who's an Algerian player as well. Apparently he knows Mahrez quite well. So he plays on the left wing. He plays for Brentford, who are currently, I think, fourth in the Premier League, in the Championship. So they're really flying. As we found out, he didn't play against the match this season when we played against them, because I think they were resting some of their squads and they were going to try and challenge to get into the Premier League. 1.72 m, left winger. He's got 11 goals and 9 assists so far this season, 35 appearances. So he looks like he's going to be one of the hot prospects. Chelsea have been rumoured with him already, and looks like we're looking to buy him as well. So would this be the kind of player that you think we could have in the squad, James? And do you think he would be useful? Bearing in mind he mainly plays on the left wing, which is where Harvey Barnes plays.
For me, yeah, I think it'd be a great battle, him and Barnes. I know Barnes can play on the right as well, so maybe him on the left and Barnes on the right. Looks a great player, looks a great prospect. Loads of clubs are after him. I think it would be good. My only doubts around the whole deal is that, like you say, Brentford are fourth. If they come up, it's going to cost a hell of a lot to get him away from Brentford, because Brentford gave him his chance. He'll probably be thinking, I might stay with Brentford for a year, unless a big offer comes in. And Brentford could very well turn around and do what we do and say, he's worth 60 million for us. So if you want him, you need to pay for him. But at the minute, I think, yeah, he's a great player. I think we need to see what happens at the end of the season. You've seen the clubs after him. He is a great prospect and will be good. Having seen him play a few times, I think he's got that Mahrez about him. He could well be the Mahrez replacement that we've been after since Mahrez left, if I'm honest.
Could be the case. It's definitely, yeah, I was just going to say, he makes some good points. He makes some good points as well. His contract expires in 2022, so we've still got some time left on it. So it's got plenty of opportunity. But it kind of reeks of, he's a player, he's 24. It seems like this is the kind of player we would be after. Now, my only concern for him, well, I think, James, you mentioned this as well, he's quite good friends with Mahrez as well. So this is a player that potentially will probably go, if he wants to know about Leicester City, he'll go straight there. And if you look at the Algerian squad with Slimani, with Gazelle, with the Mahrez saga, as we call it, there's not the best opinions of Leicester City, let's say. So maybe that'll factor into it. One thing that obviously Chelsea are heavily linked with them at the moment, but do you think, so they've got Ziyech coming in currently, they've got Mount, they've got loads of Pulisic, who scored yesterday and looks really, really, really good. They've got loads of players in that position. Do you think that would put him off going, or do you think that would strengthen him to go, no, I'm going to secure my position in the team?
I think personally, if he came to us or Chelsea, I think he'd walk straight into the teams. The thing is about Chelsea, and I want to touch on this a bit later, is around financial fair play has always hurt teams in the past. Man City currently go through their court case around financial fair play. I see that this year financial fair play has kind of been relaxed heavily due to the COVID-19 situation. Teams that have got abundance of money, the Chelseas, the Man Uniteds, the Man Cities, are just going to spend and spend big, because it means nothing now. They can buy big. The Chelsea are starting to buy and build Timo Werner. They want to buy this lad from Brentford. There's a few others that they want to buy, the Chilwell as well. They're just going to start spending, because don't forget, Chelsea haven't spent in a few seasons due to their transfer embargo. So I can see them putting together a really good team. The only thing that I think about Chelsea is they don't seem to be buying any kind of goalkeepers or defensive players. They seem to just be buying attacking midfielders, wingers. So I think they know where the problems are, but I think sometime in this window, they're going to have to buy a defender or two.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what do you think of Benrahma, Berahino, I nearly said, Benrahma coming to Leicester potentially?
For me, I think James nailed it. He has got sort of that Mahrez-esque about him, the ability just to beat a man and sort of, I think we've lacked that for a while, just the ability for someone just to run straight sort of past someone. And I think, yes, it's a step up to the Premier League, but I think he's fully capable of making it, because in the Championship, he's been absolutely tearing it up and being one of the star players this season. So for me, if Brentford don't come up, and that's the bigger if, I think we should be all over trying to get him to Leicester.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. That's all I've got for the transfer rumours. Obviously, Chilwell's been heavily linked after that amazing goal. So hopefully we'll push his price tag a little bit more up. But that's all I've got so far. So back to you, James.
Thanks. Just before we carry on, just one question for you both. A quick answer. If Chilwell has a desire to leave, would you let him go for 60 million if it meant we could bring in a £60 million player, considering we don't really seem to spend that money? So Mahrez went, Maguire went. We don't really seem to spend that money on players. Whereas I think this time we need to start spending that kind of money on players. Otherwise, you're not going to break into that big four mold. So what do you think, Neil?
Yes, long story short, but we have to get another player that's as good as Chilwell in that position. Arguably, would need a Ricardo number 2, but that would cost you another 50. So, and we'd have to go and scout somebody else. But yeah, I would, because it's a player that we're crying out for. We have got a stronger squad depth than pretty much I can remember from when we were in the Premier League in 2014. But at the same time, it's a position that we need to fill. And hopefully once we get that team can click. And like we saw against Gray played really, really well in the match last time. But maybe we've seen from Gray, there's been plenty of opportunities to impress, and he hasn't under Puel and under Rodgers and under Ranieri as well. So yeah, I would spend this money.
Okay, and what do you think?
Yeah, I think, as you say, if we want to compete with the very top teams, they're always going to have big money and stuff. And I don't think we need to start throwing around that kind of money that they have. But I think we do need to invest sort of not just in the starting 11, but I think we need to invest more in building the squad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think personally, if Chilwell did go and we had the money, I think we've got a perfect replacement in James Justin. Ricardo's fit. James Justin can play left or right back. I'd stick him at left back and let Fuchs cover him at times. Well, he's not going to play every game. And I think them two would be great in that position, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. The thing is, though, if James Justin does replace him, then we'll still need to bring in another left back because Fuchs will only be here for one more year anyway.
Yeah, totally agree.
And another right back in that case as well.
Yeah.
For squad rotation. Because at the moment, we don't really have a right back that can, if something happens to James Justin, we do have a bit of a problem because that'll change our whole shape as well. We don't have a player that can really bomb down the wings.
Yeah, and as we've said for weeks now, next season, if we get into the Champions League, we are going to need squad rotation and we're going to need squad in depth. So I think we need to spend quite a bit of money this summer, maybe not on the first team, but maybe on some good squad depth to get us through next season. Okay, so moving on, contracts this week. We saw that Morgan, Fuchs and Jakupovic signed a 12-month deal. Neil, what are your views on this?
I think it's a sensible decision if you want to get squad depth, people that are there. I don't 100% agree with it, but at the same time, I can see why they've done it. Like, at the moment, times are tough. You're not too sure on who to bring in and transfer rumours, so let's just lock down the squad that is. Apparently, from listening to the press conference, he's brought them in. He's kept them on contracts because they're good members of the squad. At the end of the day, if they're not going to do anything bad, if the club think that they're worth an extra year, then I think it'll be it after that. And they've got experience with the squad, so I don't see it as too bad an issue. It's not saying we are here, we are Champions League, we're here to wreck the Champions League, as you were saying. But overall, it's a steady Eddie approach, and I'm neutral towards it. Not good, not bad. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. So for me, Fuchs, definitely 12 months. I think that's a good one. Morgan, I was a bit surprised that he's not really played much. We've tried to get Bennett in. The last two transfer windows, we've also seen we've tried to get new defenders in, kind of cover for Cags as well as Evans. So that was a strange one for me. But like Roger said, he's great. He doesn't really do much on the pitch, but he's great off the pitch. He helps the young players come through. So maybe that is the right way to put someone in there to do that. Jakupovic, third choice goalkeeper, not really played, gets paid 1.3 million a year. Nice work if you can get it. But again, we probably do need that cover next year because you will need 3 goalkeepers. What I would like to have seen is we bought that young lad, I think, last year who went out on loan, who's quite good.
Iverson.
Yeah, so I expect him to start getting into that kind of 3 goalkeeper thing. So that will give us 4 goalkeepers. But I think Rodgers has just done that to try and protect us a bit next season. All 3 might not be in the 25-man squad, but they'll be there or thereabouts. And what do you think?
I think, particularly with the keeper one, I find it strange.
And you've gone drunk.
All you hear is such high praise from Iverson, about Iverson. So I think, yeah. Oh, you're gone.
I think we've lost Ant there. But me and Neil carry on. So thanks for that, Neil. Next thing I want to talk about, which I think there's been quite a lot of talk on Twitter lately about squad depth and the 5 subs rule. So my question to you is, does the 5 sub rule, considering we're going to be playing 2 to 3 games a week, is it more in favour of the big 4 clubs who have got quite good squad in depth compared to the Leicesters, the Wolves, Evertons of this world?
Long story short, yes. So the only anomaly that I can really see pulling through is Wolves. So they've played, I can't remember how many games, but they've played a lot of games this season, including the Europa League. What was it called? The tryout for the Europa League. It's a long journey as well. So they've got the experience of doing that. Every other team is going to have hiccups, and that's going to be the case. What's good about it, though, is that you're saying with the teams like the Man Uniteds and the, say, Man United, Arsenal's, Tottenham's, these teams that are usually the top 6 are not on form. And I was having a discussion with somebody yesterday talking about this. There hasn't really been any big teams that have really shone. If you take out Man City and Liverpool, obviously them two are running away with it this season.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been that many teams that have really shone. And Newcastle's a great example. Even they won 3-0 yesterday. They are a championship squad. And I think even Newcastle fans will admit that. They're a championship squad with a championship manager. And I think currently, as we're recording this, I think they're 10th in the league. So it shows you that there's just a lot of wasted talent at the moment. When it comes back to, bring it back to the squad depth, I think we have got a squad that's really, really, that will survive through this. The only position I'm thinking specifically is the right wing position, right back position. So we've got James Justin, but he can't play all 9 matches. But the issue is we don't have somebody, as I was saying before, that can bomb put down the wing. So yes, we're going to struggle with squad depth. Maybe we could bring somebody in like Donald Johnson from the under-23s to come into the squad. And this would be a perfect opportunity for us to do so and really utilize the under-23 squad, which are one of the best in the Premier League 2 at the moment. But it's a big ask to try and jump straight into the Premier League. But overall, yeah, it does help. That I agree with what you're saying, that these top 6 have the bigger teams with the bigger squads and the bigger squad depth, but they aren't on fire. They aren't on fire. So Liverpool are going to, hopefully when they get mathematically, they're going to win the league. They'll put the brakes on it a little bit. They'll rest players like Salah and they'll hopefully bring in some of the other players. They're not as much of a threat.
Yeah.
Then you've got Man City, who probably will do the same because they're enough away from us that they can kind of relax as well. So we'll have to see. But overall, yes, I think it will affect. But at the same time, it will... Sorry, I've just getting interrupted because Ant's joined again. The issue is, it will affect us. Leicester specifically will be okay, I think. We've just got there's 8 more games. Bash them out as soon as we can, and hopefully we get a good run in the FA Cup.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think having watched most of the games so far, because obviously they're on every night, Chelsea, for me, have looked really good. They're on fire. Liverpool, Everton last night was one of the worst games I've seen since we restarted. It was terrible. But Chelsea looked on fire. Yes, Villa scored, but I think after that, Chelsea could have scored 3 or 4. So they look really good. I think we had patches of good. Wolves looked amazing against West Ham, but they were playing West Ham, so you might want to take that with a pinch of salt. As soon as Traore came on, just completely changed the game. We know what he can do. Yep, totally agree. So looking forward to the Brighton game.
Yes, Brighton. So I know we're going to have an interesting game on our hands. Craig, I think, I can't remember his name, Mr. Potter, I should call him, has been working them really well. They're in the relegation zone, so they're going to try and scrap and fight. Now, they didn't look the best when I was looking at them against Arsenal, but they still managed to beat them. So they're still coming on a great run of form. I think they'll be a good side to play against. It'll be the first time that that both teams have had this small amount of time to prepare. And bearing in mind, we're still quite fresh into the season. So from what I've heard from the pundits and stuff, they've been saying that the home advantage means nothing because the crowd's not there. So yes, you've got the changing room and stuff like that, but obviously it's been split up and 2-meter rule is enforced and things like that. But overall, I think we should be aiming for a win. We tried to aim for a win at Watford, which I think was a really good start. Watford are a very different team, much more physical and traditional, I would say, and we know what a Nigel Pearson team will do in this. But overall, I think I'm hoping for a 2-0 win. Hopefully, Vardy and Maddison get on the scores. What about you, James?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the away thing's weird because not many home teams are winning. Not sure why, because they should still be playing the same kind of football. It just seems a bit strange to me, but it is what it is. So I'm hoping for a 2-0 win as well. I'm not sure who's going to play tomorrow. Will he have an eye on Sunday's game against Chelsea? Or will he pull out the standard 11? I could see some changes. Maybe Chowdhury will start. Maybe Iheanacho will start. He came on but didn't really do much on Saturday, sorry. So it'll be a strange one. But who do you think is going to start?
James Justin. Let's say that one. I think James Justin is the only right back at the moment, and there's not really much of a choice. So he'll be one that definitely starts. It'll be interesting to see what he does with players like Bennett, which we haven't seen much since January, obviously. So finally he got on the bench for the first time. I think he will be a great player to bring in against a Chelsea, for example. To play at the back, maybe switch to 3 at the back. We'll have to see. I think I can't see a change from 4-1-4-1, but I think what Brendan Rodgers' mentality will be: get it done early, just get 2 goals up at half time. We'll make the 5 switches, and then we'll ease out the rest of the time. Let Brighton put the pressure on us. We're good at that. We can absorb the pressure and just take our key men out of the game, so that we can just relax and then work on our plan for Chelsea. Because I think Rodgers and the squad feel a bit hard done by about the Aston Villa result. So they want a payback. But again, it's Chelsea and they are on fire and they've got their full squad ready and raring to go. Their squad player for player is better than ours. And they want to secure top 4, yes, but this is a great opportunity for them to get silverware as well. And if Frank Lampard can get silverware his first year at the club, that's a really, really good sign. And he'll be really wanting that. So I think squad depth, again, like you were mentioning, will play a great part in it. But can I see Nacho playing? Potentially. But I can see the same 11 that started against, with a couple of exceptions, but I think the main squad that started against Watford will start again against Brighton. If we could get this done early, get a couple of goals in, then we're all good. What about you?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we probably will start the same. Well, I think Schmeichel will stay in goal, the back 4 be the same. Midfield will probably be the same, played quite well together. The only change I would make in midfield is to probably bring Pratt on for Tielemans. Pratt's now ready, fit, ready to go. So I'd probably saw them. Tielemans, again, didn't look really that fit compared to what we've seen him in the past. And even in the past with the crowd there, he usually always goes off for 70 minutes. I don't know if he lasted that long this time. So again, Vardy you'd expect to start. I think it could be one of the games. You start with the same team, you get 2-0 up at half time, and then you can start bringing your subs on to protect that lead. So for me, yeah, you're right. I think, yeah, they'll still have an eye on Sunday, but not that much of a big eye. There's quite a big gap from Tuesday to Sunday, as we know. So that might make it a bit easier for us. But yeah, I can see a 2-0 win for us. Hopefully we'll play well. Hopefully we'll score some goals. And I'm hoping that Vardy gets his 100th tomorrow night.
Yes.
Everybody wanted him to get his 100th in front of the fans at home. Well, he is at home, but he won't be in front of anyone. So I saw an interview where he said he's still going to cup his ears and run to the cop or run into the stand as though he would, because he's that kind of player. He plays with passion. That passion's not there for the crowd, it's within him. So I can see him doing that. But hopefully a win there. And hopefully a win on Sunday as well and take us into the semi-finals, which would be a strange one. So I presume the semi-finals are at Wembley, as they always were, but with no fans. So that'd be a weird one. So that's kind of my views on it. So fingers crossed for tomorrow night. 6:00 kickoff. I think it's on Sky Sports tomorrow night, as we're on BT on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, great. It's been great, Neil, talking to you. No doubt you'll be back next week with us.
Yes, and for those that are listening, that's before the Brighton game, we've got a post. We're doing commentary live after the first game, so make sure to check out our YouTube channel at Beyond the 90 LCFC, where you'll find our post-match commentary there. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. And leave some comments because we'll respond to them in real time.
Yep, and on our YouTube channel, all of our podcasts are on there as videos, as well as all the other stuff we're doing. As Neil said, we're doing stuff after the games. We're hoping to do stuff during the games. Maybe we'll do a Zoom call with a few fans and watch the game with them and see how that goes. But no, it's been great, Neil. And I shall talk to you next week.
Brilliant. See you later, James.
Yeah, bye.